This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always good to be joined with Dev Sahni for the first time in a long time. It's like, mate, I'm asking that to you. Where have you been, mate?
I've been near you. I've been Chatham. I've been dockside. I've been walking about. Yeah. I've been trailing you. But where are you?
Oh, mate, that was honestly, we were probably about a minute away from each other. Yeah. Obviously, lucky for yourself, you didn't bump into me. So yeah,
very lucky indeed. But here we are now, Lewis, and it's another cracking Queensberry show Saturday night. TNT Sports. Those top two fights, very, very good. Are you excited about those top two fights, Lewis?
Always excited about it. You know, when I saw Aloys Junior facing another undefeated opponent, like it's exciting times for the Queensberry stable.
Unbeaten opponent, a good unbeaten opponent, a Queensberry-backed unbeaten opponent. And the guy that I'll point out on his record, Israel Doufus, right? Israel Doufus took Chev Clark, the British cruiserweight champion. He took him the distance. Oronzo Berardi, who fights Aloys Junior on Saturday, Oronzo Berardi did him in a round, had him over 3 times. He hits hard. He's a good fighter. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be part of the Queensberry stable, but he very much is. And it's first title fight for both guys on Saturday. Serious fight, Lewis. Serious fight.
Denzel always said to me, especially after the Heaney fight, he said, you know, it's my job to almost erase that fight from people's memories. When you go about how you do, like you did Danny Dignam, you do a good job of that, and he's got another fight quick soon after that. So, yeah, he's going along the right way, and Osaze is obviously in his way, and it's another exciting fight. So, Denzel doing good to sort of erase, I guess, that memory from the Heaney fight.
Yeah, but he's not taking easy fights, by the way. Like he could have easily, I'm sure, come back against a couple of no-hopers and got his confidence back and knocked him out and told everyone, look what I've just done. No, he's doing it against serious fighters. Danny Dignam had only been beaten by Janibek, right? And Denzel Bentley just done him in 2 rounds, crippled him to the body. Brilliant performance. And Derick Ozase has only been beaten by Tyler Denny. That was a few years ago. That was when Osaze stepped up suddenly from 4 rounds to 10 rounds. Perhaps didn't know how to navigate through the 10 rounds and didn't do too bad in that fight. Tyler Denny, we know what he does. He tends to take unbeaten records. So there's no shame in that loss. It's a proper fight for Denzel. It's a proper fight for Derrick. It's a proper fight for TNT. Proper fight for you.
That's definitely one way to put it. And another thing I did also want to focus on, and when I've always spoke to Denzel, he's always been like to me, you know, listen, I'd use this as a topic, so I asked him about the Brad Pauls fight when he beat Heaney. I texted him like, you know, it's an interesting fight. His response to me was, all he put was August 17th. So it's exciting that you know he's understood now that he can't really look beyond as he's made that mistake before. So almost like since the Heaney fight, we're seeing a new level of Bentley, as you say.
I think he's more focused than ever. I don't know if he ever looked beyond Nathan Heaney. I think he just had a lot of shit going on, and maybe other fighters would have pulled out. And Heaney probably was better than what Bentley expected. But when Denzel Bentley is hot, he is hot. When he's on form, he's one of the best middleweights out there. He's certainly one of the hardest punching. Like, he's a proper serious threat in the middleweight division, and if he makes a statement again, like he did last time against Danny Dignam, if he does that against Derick Ozase, hey, we've got a very, very good middleweight on our hands who feels like could be world champion soon enough, keeps performing well.
Well, that's a good thing that you mentioned that, because the WBO rankings got released. He's number 2, Hamza Sheeraz number 1. Everyone's always spoke about, you know, Sheeraz Bentley Sheeraz. They've always talking about that fight. Janibek's status as the champion is still sort of in question. He seems like he's going to stay at middleweight, but obviously whether he can make the weight or not is another question. So do you think it's possible he could be seeing it for the vacant title? We know Frank's relationship with the WBO. They get on really well, so we could see sort of Bentley Sheeraz not only for, like, it was always talked about for a British title, but maybe for a world title as well.
Look, there's clearly a lot going on. The rankings you can just see. That's not you making it up, me making it up. You go on the website, Janibek champion, number 1 Sheeraz, number 2 Bentley. However, I think it's premature to discuss Sheeraz Bentley, not just because of Derick Ozase on Saturday, but Tyler Denny's really good. Tyler Denny has this habit of coming up against unbeaten British middleweights and taking their unbeaten record. He just took Felix Cash's unbeaten record. He's taken Derick Osaze's. He's taken Brad Pauls as well.
Brad Ray as well.
I mean, he does that. Hamza Sheeraz, I've asked him about it. He says, look, I'm not any of those guys. Great, can't wait for that fight. But you can't sleep on these opponents. So premature to discuss Sheeraz Bentley.
And as for Aloys on the card as well, you know, he's in a competitive fight, and for himself, it's an exciting time to be a cruiserweight as well. We know him and Tommy Fletcher are always touted to beat each other. Like, you know, we talked about Sheeraz Bentley. It's almost like the cruiserweight version when you've got Fletcher and Aloys. So there's exciting times, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Aloys. He kind of stole that presser up there. You had too sharp Denzel Bentley, and you had you know, Derick Ozase, who's also a church pastor. So I wasn't expecting any kind of you know, punches being thrown or tables being thrown. So Aloys Junior stepping up there, seeing these bright lights and just shining under them, I was like, yeah, my guy. Very, very good. I was impressed with that. He's great. He's a great talker, great puncher. One of the biggest punchers we've got in the country right now. Every fight that he's won, the 7 fights that he's won them by knockout, and not just like ref steps in, he's taken too many. These guys are sleeping. Some of them are snoring on the floor. It's unbelievable power that he's got. So this is his first title fight. As I mentioned earlier, Ronzo Berardi, he's pretty good as well. Queensberry backed fighter. So very, very interesting cruiserweight contest.
One guy actually have to talk about. Obviously, you're a man of Kent like myself. On the undercard, Mason Payne from Kent making his debut. Like, it's getting to the point, Dev. You do need to get on Frank's shoulder, get on George's shoulder. Like, come on, Maidstone Leisure Centre, Lordswood Leisure Centre. They're all waiting for a Queensberry show there.
Forget the leisure centres. We'll go to the stadium.
Yeah. Priestfield, mate. Priestfield, we want it.
It's not just those. You got Moses Italma, like Dennis McCann's Maidstone as well. I know he's up in Liverpool at the moment, but look, hopefully they can do it at some point. I'm excited about Mason Payne. Hopefully he brings the pain on Saturday. I've heard a lot of good things. I know Francis manages him, and Francis doesn't just manage any old schmuck. So Mason Payne must be pretty good.
Yeah. Do you think, like on an actual serious like conversation, like, do you think a Kent Queensberry show is definitely possible? I can't remember the last time. Like, I don't know if ever a big promoter actually came to Kent. So you think it's a possibility?
Oh, look, I'd cross my fingers.
It's not a long trip at all for us. Yeah.
No, not at all. Look, I hope so, mate. Just personally, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. Wouldn't it be great? Yeah. It's been when was the last big show in Kent?
Mate, I honestly couldn't tell you. Like, apart from the MTK days, I couldn't tell you since then. They weren't in big shows. Do you know what I mean?
They used to do a couple at the Black Lion as well.
That's one. Yeah, Dillian White made his pro debut, and with Jamie Collin on the card at the Black Lion, mate. So that's one stat, isn't it?
But I tell you what, I think we're bigger than the Black Lion now. When you've got Moses Italma, future king of the division, Sam Noakes as well. Like, it's.
Sean as well, like, mate, we could be here forever. But yeah, I guess I'll move on and talk about sort of wider topics outside of boxing. Yeah, obviously Carl Froch done a video on his YouTube channel where he's sort of spoken about the idea of Fury Usyk 2, and he was asked a question about if Fury loses, could you see him retiring? Froch was like, you know, he could definitely see that as a possibility. So a question I'd ask for yourself, do you think if Fury doesn't beat Usyk that could be the end for him?
I think it would be foolish to second guess anything Tyson Fury does. He's unpredictable, and you can't guess his move. What I do know, his move right now is to get into the shape of his life for the test of his life against Oleksandr Usyk. And once again, by many people, he's being written off, just like he was against Klitschko, just like he was against Wilder, just like he was with his mental health journey, just like he was when he was 30 stone and you're never going to get that weight off. He's been written off again. Great. He'll love that. This is the first time now he's got to bounce back from a defeat. So I would imagine his mindset is stronger than ever, and I can't imagine he's thinking about retirement, and you know, you can't really guess his second move anyway.
And when you look at a rematch, and Fury's been pretty open about where he thinks he went wrong, do you feel like when you approach it from a Fury point of view, there's some of it, the game plan or the prep is slightly easier? Like, obviously Usyk's going to prep in his own way, but some of it's easier when you actually understand the mistakes that you've made, and with it being as close like that, like, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, look, I think people are overlooking and forgetting the success that Tyson Fury had in that fight. There were things that he was doing in the middle rounds that were clearly causing Usyk trouble, that were bothering Usyk. We were seeing Usyk get on the back foot for a little while. Not something you often see. So there were plenty of things to look at and go like, well, I did all of this well. I think Frank said it the other day. He said Tyson knows what he's got to do to beat Usyk. So yeah, look, if he does what he did the first fight and carries that on from the middle rounds up until the end, however long it lasts, then he's got a great chance.
Final question from myself, and I feel like I sort of know what your answer will be with these two both having fights scheduled and big fights. But Barry Hearn done an interview on IFL, and Eddie got asked this question actually before by Coogan on IFL. He was asked if AJ Fury isn't delivered, is that sort of, does it make him, have they failed as promoters, or has boxing failed? Like, I guess it's not right for us to talk about like sort of matchroom business or this and that, but do you think boxing would have failed if that fight never gets delivered?
I feel like it has to be delivered at some point, but both have got big tasks in front of them. Anthony Joshua's got Daniel Dubois September 21st. Dubois might just knock him out, and then he's the champion. Then Fury's got Usyk. So say Fury beats Usyk, then there'll be clamour for Dubois against Fury. There's so many things that can happen. Sometimes it's just about how famous the fighters are as well. Like, that fight will forever be a big fight regardless of the results. Hopefully we get to see it one day.
Definitely, for sure. Dev, as always, mate, a pleasure to speak to you. First time in a while, and yeah, good to be back with a bang, mate. Where have you been? That's what I'll ask. But yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.